ayo, 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 ayo. Oh, ayo, yo, ayo, 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 ayo. When they were coming, they said they were liberator. When they were coming, they said they were liberator. But when they came their crown, they teased their mind. When they came their crown, they teased their mind. What kind of people they?
Okay, so a pleasant good morning from the nation's capital here. And I'm Stephen Conton. This is how I'd like to welcome you to another edition of the program, Issues in the Society. Today is Friday, the 30th day of the month of May. So the year is gradually slipping away, you know. And today happens to be the last edition of our program for this month. Oh yeah. So let me say a pleasant good morning to my guys. The guys are from the Friend Forever at the University of Liberia there. Oh yeah, you guys are doing pretty good. Sylvester, Jacob, Eric, Samuel, and the rest of the team members there. I've met Virgin as well. And so we are here today. There are a lot of things to talk about. Oh yeah. And so, in a wake of issues that are trending in our country, remember the last time we discussed about this road accident issue, right? Yeah, that which is very, very much important. We discussed about that the last time, and we were kind of putting a strategy to see how best we can be able to get on somebody. So by the special grace of God, we're able to get somebody. He's here with us in studio, and he's Daniel P. Joseph. Daniel P. Joseph is a road safety educationalist, and he's here with us this morning as we talk more about road safety, among other things. And so I'm going to take a break. Right after this break, I will bring on Mr. Aliyu Masaleh. Thereafter, then we'll bring on our guests. So for those of you who are following us via our various social media platforms, we are calling on you to share the live video, because there are a lot of things to talk about here. We have a couple of issues to talk about here today, that which is very, very much important. So after this break, when we come back, we'll bring in our guests.
Exclusive from hotlbr.com.
When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberator. But when they need their man, they change their mind. What kind of people they do?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they do?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you killing our.
Okay, all right, so that's good. Welcome back. Let me quickly bring on Mr. Aliyu Masaleh there from the States. Good morning, Chief. How you doing?
Good morning, Stevie Cotton. Good morning, Mama Liberia. Once again, this is Aliyu Masaleh from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Glad to be here on Issue in the Society, the last edition in the month. And once again, Salam Alaikum to all my Muslim brothers and sisters around the world in Liberia. Today is the last Friday of the month. I wish everybody a safe weekend. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, all right. Thank you ever so much. And so, as I said, and in a moment from now, we'll be bringing on our guest here, who is with us in studio to discuss issue regarding road safety. There have been a couple of accidents which have led to the death of a lot of people. And so these things are just very important for us as a people in a country to discuss about these things. So in the wake of that, we have with us in studio here, as I told you earlier on, a road safety educationalist. He's here with us so that we can be able to talk about this issue. Yeah. So very quickly, Mr. Masale. Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, thank you there. Before we go into the issue of, I want to say Alhamdulillah, thanks and praises to the Almighty Allah for saving the life of our president, Excellency Dr. Joseph Yuma Bwaka, and his entire ride that was on the flight. The incident that happened. This is what we have to do. We pray for our country and our leaders, no matter what it is. So once again, we say thanks be to God for them being saved yesterday in the incident. We ask God guidance and protection upon our president in all of his travel and his entire envoy that always go with him. Thanks be to God for saving them last night. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks, Mr. Masale. That's good. And we give God a praise. We actually gave God a praise for that. And that's just very, very much important. Very, very, very much important. So we say thanks to God Almighty, for our president and the entire crew. So that's just a very, very much important. Okay, so as I said, for those of you who are following us, just you can now send in your text messages. Let me look up and see, try to recognize or probably acknowledge the people who are following us. Honorable J.D. Williams is following us from Johnsonville. Ibrahim B. Kroma is also following us from Iron Factory Community. John Fuller is also following us from at Bible College area there. That's good. Thank you. Share the live video and send in your comments. Definitely, I can assure you that they will be read as we go on with the show this morning. All right, so let's see. Let me be able to now bring on our guest here. Okay, so let me bring on our guest. Can you dress a bit closer, or maybe make some adjustment to the mic?
Is it okay like this?
Yeah, you can take the headphone. Okay, all right. So good morning. Yeah, yes. So okay, so you have already on now. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So it is good having you here this morning. As I said, there are a lot of things to talk about. But firstly, for the benefit of those who are following us, I would like to probably give you the time so that you can have yourself introduced better, so that our people can know who is this person that we have with us in studio today.
Okay, thank you very much for that unique opportunity. Let me firstly start by saying a very big thank you to the King's family for providing me this opportunity to be here today, and all appreciation to God Almighty as well for bringing me here safely. Yeah. By way of introduction, I am S. Daniel P. Joseph Sr., resident of the borough of Cooltown, District 16.
Okay.
The visionary and creator or founder of Save Rose Liberia.
Okay.
Which was previously referred to as Rose Safe Liberia.
Okay, that's good. Let me bring on Mr. Masale. Probably has something to say as we go on. Yeah, Chief. So welcome back.
Yeah, good morning to our student guests. It's nice sharing the platform with you this morning. I was with you on Freedom FM, but we have a very short time. We just went for like 10 minutes that day on what you were discussing is very important to us and to every one of us. And we've been talking about similar things in the country, but it was so good that we met that day, and I think we can also discuss it here as they are planning to take you back to Freedom FM. But once again, I'm Aliyu Masale from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. It's nice having you this morning, and thanks for coming to our invite. Yes, we appreciate that of you. So we can get it rolling.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Masale. Okay, so Mr. Joseph, before we transition to issue we'll be talking about here, most especially the educational aspect of the program. I would like you to tell me a bit about this, your organization, how this entire organization came about, and what prompted you as a young person to have formed this particular organization. Yes, so you have the time now to elaborate on that.
Thank you very much for that in the question. Like I said earlier, Save Rose Liberia came from Rose Save Liberia. It was Rose Save Liberia.
Okay.
There's a vision, I believe, that came from God.
Mm.
And actually, the inspiration of this Rose Save Liberia actually came about due to the alarming accident across our country, Liberia.
Okay.
I had a friend years back
Mm.
who was involved in an accident and he lost his life on the Kano Road.
Wow.
And that was 8 years back.
Mm.
This vision is about 7 years old now, since 2018. And that took place in 2017. After my friend died.
Mm.
I thought it was, I said, with the level of education I have when it comes to road safety education and everything that is required to be considered as a road safety educationalist, I have those knowledge.
Okay.
What then am I waiting for? To begin giving back to my country by educating my fellow Liberians across our country, Liberia, about the issue of road safety.
Okay.
I do agree that there are existing road safety organizations in our country, but I believe that in terms of executing the responsibility that comes with that way of life, because I see being a road safety educationalist is not a job. I see it as a way of life.
Okay.
There are requirements. There are education required. There are knowledge that are required to be a road safety advocate or road safety educationalist. So, with that mindset or knowledge, knowing that, I said, then that means I am potent to be a road safety educationalist.
Okay.
So I'm a self-proclaimed road safety educationalist. This I can defend everywhere I have art and to go. Because to be a road safety educationalist, you must have full knowledge when it comes to driving, both theoretical and practical knowledge of driving.
Okay.
To be a road safety educationalist or advocate, you must have knowledge of auto mechanics.
Okay.
To be a road safety educationalist or advocate, you must have full knowledge when it comes to applying our street behavior as a pedestrian or as an operator or a driver. To be a road safety educationalist, you must have full knowledge of the traffic and vehicle laws of our country. Liberia has to do with Title 38 of the Liberian law.
Okay.
So, if you don't have those required knowledge, your ability to communicate with all global road users will be limited. So, based on that, I decided to embark on this journey. There are a lot of challenges I've been faced with as a young man coming up. No sponsorship, no support. I stopped at nowhere when it comes to providing road safety education or education through the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But that wasn't enough.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't enough because not everybody or every road user have access to smartphone. I'm here on
okay. So that means before then you used to go on social media to provide this kind of education to the people, right? That's
Yes,
what.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was on. I got a page on Facebook.
Okay.
It's still Liberia, even though I've changed the name to Save Rose
Save
Liberia.
Liberia. Okay.
And that name from Rose Save Liberia to Save Rose Liberia, it came about from my editor.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me recognize her, Sister Mary Lawrence Brown, who edited my book.
Okay.
So she said, Daniel, based on what you have explained to me on this initiative, if you're talking about roads save Liberia,
Mm.
it will be narrow. Then if you say save roads
Save road
because when you
Liberia,
look
okay.
at the adjective or save
Mm.
and that of the noun roads, it becomes a collective subject.
Okay.
So with your knowledge and what you want to do,
Mm.
save roads Liberia will be better for you. So that was how the name changed from Roads Save Liberia to Save Roads Liberia.
Okay.
So to be sincere, visited hospital accident wards, to be specific, seeing parents, children, Liberians, and people who are not even citizens in our country, but they are lying in the hospital, disabled, other people you have then been amputated, their leg cut off. I mean, there are children who have been left as orphans due to accident, losing their parents in accident, both parents. To be sincere, and this I can assure you, the safety of all road users have been treated for the benefit, should I say, or the monitor aspect,
Okay.
the monetary aspect, because what am I trying to say here is that the safety of all road users have been undermined
Okay.
and replaced by money. Yes, be it by the government, be it by operators of motor vehicles, and that of all.
Now we'll come to that aspect, and we're ready come to that aspect. But let me bring on my colleague. Probably has a question as we go further. Mr. Masale, you are muted.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Yes, well, I just listened to everything you said. But I want to know, in Liberia, there are so many accidents we see happening in the country. There are so many things. Every night and then you will see this other accident, this other person died, this other people in hospital. It is just too much. And I think some of these accidents are accidents that can be avoided, but yet they still we see them going on. Can you really tell me, based on your experience in the country, and you are already written a book, why you think is the cause of some of these accidents in the country that are supposed to be avoided, but we see them happening on a daily basis?
I love the way you place it. That can be avoided. Accidents are avoidable, and this I can assure people that not every crashes are accident. Let us first look at the contributing factors when it comes to accident, because until you know what caused it, you will not be able to resolve it. So to resolve something, you must know the cause of it, so that even if you work on it now, it won't happen again. So we need to first look at the contributing factors. There are a lot of contributing factors. Even we ourselves contribute to our own safety out there. So whether be it we involved in an accident or not, we also contribute to it, be it negatively or positively. Now, some of the contributing factors might be taken into consideration that has to do with those who are responsible, the authorities that are responsible to improve the safety of all road users, to ensure that all road users out there are safe. The Liberia National Police, the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of Lands and Mines and Energy. I mean, all of these entity or agency, governmental agency, are responsible. They are contributing factors. Even when you come to the city police, they are also contributing factors. Road users ourselves, including me, we are also contributing factors. Now, driving institutions in our country are also contributing factors. So, if you take into consideration all of those factors, including the deplorable road conditions, you will understand that that means we all contribute to accident in our country. Then we say, how can we work on this? To minimize this, we have to revisit all of those areas that are considered, or points that are considered as contributing factors, which will be okay we can begin with. I just make mention of a lot of them as contributing factors. So let us say driving institutions. If we pick driving institution, or auto coach down begin with driving institution. Driving institutions in our country, they have inadequate instructional materials. When you look at how many driving institution curriculum is up to standard, the lessons they teach the student, the process, be it the training, because we have theoretical aspect, we have the practical aspect.
Okay.
There are people who might be doing driving for passion, based on passion, or maybe hustle or whatever sport reason or all of things. But driving is a profession that comes with responsibility. So as a driver, you must first understand that driving is a profession that comes with responsibility. And that responsibility has to do with preserving lives. That's the first responsibility of every professional driver out there. The second responsibility has to do with managing the property in your care and that of other properties. So when we talk about preserving life, it's not just about the life of human being. Even the chicken and dog out there on the road, their life needs to be protected by you as an operator. Then we come to managing properties in your care. There are a lot of ways you can manage the property in your care and that of other property on the way, on the road, that they're also making use of the road. Now, the check or assessment you conduct on your vehicle every morning, these are all management. It helps to prevent or preserve lives. That will also help or maybe avoid you experiencing any sort of breakdown on the road to obstruct other road users and other things. And
go ahead.
let us also, then the third responsibility has to do with promoting the rule of law. When it comes to promoting the rule of law, that has to do with the knowledge of the operator or driver when it comes to the traffic and vehicle laws of our country, Liberia. You cannot be a professional driver if you don't have full knowledge or knowledge of the vehicle and traffic laws of our country, Liberia. So, taking into consideration the three responsibilities shoulder on you as a professional driver, that will help you out there. Because you see, the driver's behaviors out there are one of the major aspects when it comes to road accident. Now, so if a driving institution lacks the ability or have inadequate instructional materials to better prepare those students, turning their passion into professions, then that means we have the lives of all of our users entrusted in the hands of those drivers who are not trained enough to plow our streets by use of motor vehicles.
Now, let's come to this aspect also, because I just want us to narrow this down to our contemporary society, most especially what we are experiencing in Liberia now on a daily basis. There are times wherein, on the highway, you would notice that probably a truck that breaks down will get be parked on the road, and driver driving on the highway, they don't take into consideration whether people are supposed to cross, animals, and all these kind of things. And even in the city here, when you talk about the duty barriers, right? Ensuring that or who be present, maybe a driver respects the driving rules, and taking into consideration all these things. What do you think? Or that normally lead to, maybe you see if a driver offends or maybe goes against the driving rules, and at the end of the day, the passenger does what he or she wants to do and maybe go away with that particular thing without the duty barrier taking action. Why do you think these things are happening?
Good. Now, the Liberia National Police have a highway patrol. The highway patrol is not just for Monrovia. Moxarado or Monrovia is not Liberia. Highway patrols along the way are responsible to regulate the speed limit of operators that are found on major roads or out of town, or highway, as you call it. I really don't normally use the word highway for out of town, because when you read the traffic and vehicle law, the word highway have a different definition as from our understanding of the word we use highway.
Okay.
When you read the traffic and vehicle law, highway is being defined as the entire width of the road between the boundary lines that is used for vehicular traffic. That is from left to right. We have the edge line on the left, the edge line on the right. That entire width between the boundary lines that is used for vehicular traffic is considered or known as a highway. That's why I don't like or find pleasure in using the word highway. I normally use the word out of town.
Okay.
Yeah. So highway patrols should be assigned every part of the road. Every part. If I say every part of the road, be it out of town, be it every county, intersection, junctions, they must know, they must be able to calculate the speed at which a vehicle is traveling, whether be the operator is moving above the recommended speed limit or below the recommended speed limit, because it's a traffic violation whenever a motor vehicle operator apply the streets above or below the recommended speed limit.
Okay.
So it's a violation.
Okay.
So when it comes to the issue of those vehicles that experience breakdown, and then at the end of the day, they will cause obstruction for other road users. Now, the first thing here is that highway patrol or the Liberia National Police in general takes liability, takes responsibility. Yes, maybe they may not know or they may not have the knowledge, but this I can assure you, there are things we expect them to know.
Okay.
When you look at the Liberia National Police, when they are first sent to the police academy, when you come from there, you are just a patrol officer.
Okay.
You have to go back to the police academy for specialty that have to do with area of specialization. If you want to be a traffic officer, if you want to be in the CSD, you want to be women and children, you want to be XYZ, then you go back for specialty. So that's an area of specialization. That's how it's like. So if you take a patrol officer and you just put him in the highway patrol vehicle in the name of he can drive, and this I can assure you, it's even possible that a lot of our police drivers or operators don't have a valid driver's license. They don't even have a driver's license, which is a violation when it comes to the traffic and vehicle law. Because the traffic and vehicle law clearly stated, when you read Title 38 of the Liberian law that had to do with the traffic and vehicle law, or Section 2.20, they say no pressing. No pressing.
Absolutely.
They say no pressing. Now, we have an exception of two different groups of people.
Okay.
That I will bring to your knowledge. But let me start with this. No person. And yet, even the Liberia National Police, personnel of the Liberia National Police, they are not even formed in our two groups of people that have that opportunity or privilege.
The privilege,
to
okay.
operate a vehicle in our country without the Liberia driver's license.
Okay.
Now, so when the traffic and vehicle law says no person in Section 2, Chapter 2, Section 2.20, it says no person shall operate or plow the street without a valid driver's license. So if you are a police officer and you are driving a police car without a valid driver's license, that means you are violating the traffic and vehicle law. You should be an example of the law. So that's how it's like. So if a police officer don't have a valid driver's license, that means he don't have the legal authority to plow a street, even by use of the police vehicle. He should have a driver's license. Yeah, because the vehicle and traffic law did not say if a police officer is operating a police car, there is no need he have a valid driver's license. So the legal authorization has to do with the driver's license. And note, if a police officer should secure a driver's license for himself, there are process he will have to go through.
Okay.
Wherein he will be trained. He will take tests. He will do medical. He will do practical. He will do theoretical.
Okay, all right. So let me hold you there a bit and go back to Mr. Masale. Let me break on Mr. Masale. Yeah, Chief. Yeah, so go ahead, Chief.
Oh yes, I want to ask some question on this question. First of all, people in the comment section are asking, what are the skills needed for safe driving? Okay, that question coming from the comment section. And the question coming from me here is, like for us, for me, I don't know about other Liberians, but when I leave from here, I go to Liberia because the highest is 1 month. And I always use my driver license from here to drive. You think is that safe for me to use American driver license to drive in the country? And again, I want to know, so many times in Liberia, you see government officials, even police, they are not going on any emergency. And you will see people using siren or getting on the side of the road, pushing people off the road just for them to go. Government officials are running late for work. So I want to know, you been into this road safety, everything. Is there any law that say, oh yes, it is good when government officials are running late for work and they can use their siren to take people off the road or driving or on the sidewalk? Is there any law in Liberia that approved that gave them the right to do that? Because it's almost like influencing on the people, right, abusing their right. So I want to know the question from the comment section: what are the skills needed for safe driving? And my own question: whenever I go Liberia, I use my driver license, if it is safe to do so, and also if it is in a law, or if it is lawful that government officials can use that siren at any time to take people from the road or driving on the sidewalk because they are running late for work.
Thank you very much. I would appreciate it if we do the question one at a time. I will answer all of the questions.
Okay, so
no matter the number of questions.
Okay, all right. So let's begin. Let's begin with. Yeah, Mr. Masale, go ahead, Chief.
Well, the first question was from the comment section: what are the skills needed for safe driving? That's from the comment.
Okay, let's deal with.
We'll just narrow the answer for that question
because of the time.
Or defensive driving knowledge.
Okay.
When it comes to defensive driving knowledge, there are a lot of things in it. Because now, when we talk about the skill required, a bulk. There are driving institutions in Liberia that offer driving courses. They tell you that you'll be a professional driver in 3 weeks. That is false. That is false. I'm telling you that the safety of all road users, including me, have been traded for money. They have been compromised for money, be it by our government, be it by ourselves. That's just the fact about it.
Okay.
Now, if you tell an individual who lacks the knowledge of driving, who is not even a driver, who has not sat down in a car before, and you say you can make him a professional driver in 3 weeks for $75 US, for $150, for $250, for whatever amount it might be, it's not possible. Because this is number one, the driving schools in Liberia, they offer 3 days in a week. Either you take Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, or you take Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you get 3 days in a week, and you say you can make someone a professional driver in 3 weeks, it's not possible. Because the first thing you should understand here is that you enroll in a driving institution, assuming that you want to do it formal. You enroll in a driving institution, you first need the theoretical knowledge. Now, that theoretical knowledge, the first thing you must know, through the theoretical knowledge, they will teach you, first you must understand the basic when it comes to the vehicle and traffic laws, the traffic laws or regulations of our country. You can't be a professional driver if you lack knowledge of the traffic and vehicle laws. You must understand the traffic sounds. You must understand pavement markings. You must be able to interpret every dot on the road. You must be able to tell someone why the lines are broken at certain point and why those lines are not broken at certain point. You must be able to tell someone why the lines are white or why those lines are yellow.
Okay.
So if you can't do those things, understand that you lack certain knowledge of driving. That's just it.
Okay, so you need the knowledge.
You need the knowledge.
Okay, all right.
Before we talk about the basic aspect when it comes to pre-trip inspection, or come to the POM, or come to the DSSM routine, understand. Maybe the first thing was how to teach you how to do wheel replacement, replacing the regular wheel with the spare wheel from the trunk or the boot of the vehicle. Now, so there are safety measures to be applied. Assuming that you're operating a vehicle and you experience a breakdown that had to do with under inflation, maybe the tire burst or whatever, good. The first thing you do, what you need to do first as a professional driver, what are the safety measures you need to apply? First, you need to go off the road so that you can obstruct the movement of other road users because the road is not for you alone. Secondly, what do? You make sure you apply your emergency brake or maybe the handbrake or the parking brake. These are safety measures you have to put in place. If possible, you can do an added safety measure by putting on your hazard. They have the feature that you indicate the switch is there. You punch it, then you find this full light signal comes on, so that you acknowledge all of your users. These are all safety measures, not even yet replacing or maybe taking the long winch to go and see how best you can stack the long knot from the long winch or from the wheel. No,
Okay.
not even getting to that yet.
Okay.
Before you even get back to your the trunk or the boot of the vehicle, see how best you can get access to your reflective triangle or the safety triangle, where you have to apply it or have it mounted behind the vehicle to inform other road users that there is hazard ahead or maybe breakdown. You should know the difference. Till you have those knowledge, then we have something we call wheel choking. You don't even know what they call wheel choking. You see, you're a professional driver. These are added safety measures.
Okay.
Yeah, you may apply the emergency brake that had to do with the handbrake or the parking brake. You find some driver will take rock, put one at the back of the wheel and then another one at the front of the wheel. That additional safety measure to apply, we call that wheel choking in driving. That has to do with theoretical aspect. You will do in the classroom before you do on the field.
Okay, so Joseph, let me hold you there. We come to that other aspect. I'll let you to address his other question as to whether it is safe or it is necessary that he comes. Normally, when he comes to the country, he brings a driver lesson from that end and uses it here. Is that advisable?
It is in compliance with our law.
Okay.
The Liberian law.
Okay.
Chapter 38 of the Liberian law that have to do with the traffic and vehicle laws of our country. Now, these are the two groups of people that are exception when it comes to having access to valid driver's and laborious license to ply our streets. That's why I said police and I even make mention there. We have the armed forces of our Liberia, the personnel of the armed forces of Liberia, 1, 2, non-resident.
Okay.
You see that?
Yes.
So now, the difference now between personnel of the armed forces of Liberia and that of non-resident has to do with the non-resident should be in the possession of a valid driver license of the country where they came from. That is to say they will have the right or privilege to operate motor vehicle in our country for nothing more than 30 days.
Okay.
You get me? So that's how it's like. So it's in compliance with our law. It's in compliance with our law.
Okay, so lastly, the last question that he asked, and thereafter, then we'll go to our other colleague, Mr. Reeves. You are welcome. So there are times where you see most of the lawmakers, most especially when they are coming to work or going to work, and the way in which they use the siren, pushing people off the road, and all this kind of thing without taking into consideration people's safety at that moment. He want to know, is that important? Is that something that should be done? Does the law of Liberia guarantee them to do such?
People found in such act are considered alleged violators of our law. Now, if I say alleged violator, they have the right to take appeal to the court.
Okay.
They can go to traffic court if they're okay with the judgment or ruling. From there, they can proceed, take an appeal to criminal court B. If they are not okay, they can take an appeal to the Supreme Court. That happens to be the final arbiter of justice in our country, Liberia. Now, let me say this: vehicles of representative are not authorized vehicle. When you do theory, proper theory, they talk about the authorized vehicle. They are listed in ranking order as the law as skill of preference. The first authorized vehicle is the firefighter or fire service vehicle.
Okay,
that's the first authorized vehicles on the list. When we say skill of preference, we talk about the first one becomes more important than the other. Go. So the fire service vehicle is the first authorized vehicle. The ambulance is the second authorized vehicle.
Okay.
The presidential convoy is the third authorized
vehicle. Okay.
The police vehicle is the fourth, followed by our private emergency vehicles. We have some private entity that have emergency vehicle, maybe private security sectors, all of that. So the vehicle of representative, whoever the representative might be, that vehicle is not an authorized vehicle. So using the opposite lane he's doing his own thing. Police officer has the right to pull him over and issue him our ticket. Get him the original one, keep the 3, and do disburse the remaining 3 to where it's supposed to be, because we have 4 copies of the ticket. The original is to be issued to the alleged violator of our law. Then one of the tickets should be given to the director, and the 2 maybe to the court if you want to go and challenge.
I think they have internet problem.
This internet problem, just Solomon, good morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning.
Yes, I don't really know what's the internet issue. Just recently, you were bossing PHP. You say, oh, they need to bring cable, blah blah blah. They put this other thing on top of the cable. They need to ship it. All of these things have been done. Why we still experiencing internet problem in Solomon?
So then that was not a problem.
So why you think was the problem?
What the thing is, most of the time they can just guess that maybe this is the cause, and what have you. But we all know that those cables are used on the ocean. They are used underground. They are not above ground. So for somebody to say because the cables are especially the fiber optic cables, they are underground, that's why the internet reception is poor. That is not true. Just you get what you pay for. If you pay for example, if you pay for 1 gigabyte, and then you have a lot of equipment in your house, then the speed of that 1 gigabyte on your internet will be slower. If you pay for 1 terabyte, you can use a lot of stuff on it, and your internet signal will still be strong, and that's the problem. We in Liberia, we always want to manage. We pay for cheap services. We pocket the rest of the money, and then that's how it is.
And you always saying this, and I agree with you, Solomon. Actually, what you pay for is what you get. Because, for example, we are here. You see some people, you pay $15 per month. Are you there? Oh yeah, some people pay $15 for their phone bills. Some people pay $20, $25. Where some people are paying up to $60 a thing for unlimited. So what you pay for is what you are getting. You see, so this issue about putting cable this way, I think that's the cause of the internet problem in Liberia.
Of the ailment. So what they do, they try an error. Sometimes they do the wrong operation, then they find out, oh no, that is not it. So in the absence of proper diagnosis, you can cause more damages. Yeah.
This internet issue is a serious thing. Sometimes you're having good conversation, and then internet just come and disrupt the whole thing. Yeah.
Ghana pay for quality of the cable service for the amount of line they get for internet, for cell phone service and all those stuff. So they have a better. They have internet stability. The same thing in Nigeria. and most of the other African countries. I don't think Sierra Leone probably going through the same internet problem that Liberia goes through. Because if you pay a small money, that's what you're gonna get. That's a service you're gonna get.
And this I think they fail to realize. You see, you get what you pay for, that what you are going to get. When you pay good money, you get good quality service. If you not pay good money, you're not going to get nothing good. Like here, sometimes based on what you pay for, and you will see you say, oh yes, you have used this amount of your makeup.
If you don't pay the right amount for the service, even if you were to pay maybe $25 per month, and they say, oh, unlimited this, unlimited that, you gotta know your upload speed, your download speed. Now, if you have the upload speed is less, the download speed is less, then your internet, even though it will come on, but it'll be buffering, it'll be cutting off on and on and off.
Mr. Masale, I've already gotten you from this end. Mr. Masale, are you getting me now?
Yes, I'm getting you. What happened again?
Yes, so all you need to do is to mute your mic. You